Hello everybody, welcome back. Good morning. It is an early morning here. Well, mornings are early for us. We get up at 4 a.m. because of my husband's work schedule, and I get up with him and I prepare his lunch and all that good stuff. So anyway, good morning. Welcome back to my channel. I am sending you all so much love, and I am praying that you are all doing well and feeling fabulous. So today I am working on my design team project for Life's Ever After on Etsy. And before I forget, I want to remember to tell you that there is a discount code. It will be linked in the description box, but in case I forget to tell you, it's all capitals and it's design team and then the number 1, not spelled out, the actual numeral. And let's get started. So I just don't know where to start. I kind of went through and just started cutting out stuff. That's all I did. You didn't miss much. So I kind of like starting with signatures. And so I have, this is newsprint that I've got in one of my thrift hauls, my vintage hauls. So it's newsprint, 9x12, 32 pound. And I got it, it wasn't even $2. I'm sure it was even cheaper than that. So since we're doing a tall journal, this will actually be slightly taller than the papers, which I don't mind. So I thought those would be pretty to put in. Just to kind of get it started. I don't yet know how many signatures. I'm thinking doing a 1 signature, maybe a 2 signature. I kind of like the tall journals. I like the 2 signatures. I don't know why. Because I feel like there's so much and they get big. But we'll see. We shall see. And then this is just some coffee dyed and turmeric dyed papers. So if you see here, you can see that newsprint sits up taller. And I might end up later cutting it off, but for right now, I will leave it. So I'm just starting out with some of these here and kind of keeping them balanced. Oh, look at that. I just pulled out. I didn't even count. And then this is some music paper. Let me grab another one. So this one here, it was a little vintage book, but it was such that I could pull it apart, and I think it's strong enough still that I can just put it in like that. So we can put one of those, and those might become side pockets. Let's see. It's there. Oh yeah, that would make good side tucks. Guess it doesn't have to be an exact. Start putting this together. Oops. See, I kind of like that you can offset these. Oh yeah, that's nice. So this is the same music paper, but it has the lyrics just printed out there. And you can use whatever you want. I do lots of journals where I don't add anything extra in, like vintage papers, just using the coffee dyed papers. Now I will say that this coffee dyed paper that I have here may or may not be the Costco paper that I really like. Yeah, see, I like how that's Leslie from 507 Willow House Journals. She is very, very picky about having the different layers. Not picky, I shouldn't say that, but well, I guess it's picky. It's not a bad thing. She is very specific on how she likes her layers and pages to look. And I like that idea. Let's see. Bring this up. And that one's down. Okay. So there is those. And then I kind of pulled, oh, here's another newsprint one. This here, which is also music paper, and it's bigger sheets. And what I was thinking with this is that I would back some of the decorative pages with it. And that is kind of a trick you can do to make kits have a nice feel to them. So if I do it like that, cut off the violin part. So I think I'll do it down. So some people don't like to back it. I like it because I use the copy paper, then this becomes a really nice thick piece of paper. And so I like backing my paper because I don't use the cardstock. So I'm just gonna go around this, and I know that I don't need to go all the way to the edge. I don't have problems with lifting or separating. As long as you get the edges good, you shouldn't have problems. You can use a wet glue, you can use the glue stick. I just think the glue stick works really well. Oops. And it is easy and not as messy. And that one is done. Ooh. Oops. Oh no. And I like this one. I've had really good luck with it. If you go really heavy, it will show up purple so you can see where it is, but I just look for the shine. Oh, I think I need this edge better. And I'm gonna just stick that right down in the middle because I want to get all of the music sheets. And then just really get your edges good. And if you have an edge that lifts, you can always go back in and fix it. It's not that big of a deal. So let's move that off to dry. And then let's do one more like that. But it just really, I think it creates a really nice backing to digital papers. And sheet music isn't always the easiest to find. I struggled for a little bit, but now I actually have a lot. You just have to keep looking for it. Now this is from an old magazine. If you've watched any of my vintage hauls, you know this is from, it was a coronation day of Queen Elizabeth's father. And this was May 13th, 1937. And I like this advertisement here because it talked about a curtain, has a little piece of fabric. So I thought we would put this on here. And that fits really nicely. So let's see. And then that's going to have a nice vintage backing. But this is a really frail paper, so there's not, I can't do a lot with this. This has to go on the backing of something. So when it is on copy paper, it's going to add lovely vintage effect to the digital. Make sure I have this the right way. This way. I can see the baskets. Okay. So yeah, it adds such a nice effect, and then it's a way of using up your thinner vintage papers as well. Oh, let's see. I almost glued it on that side. I got to put the glue over here. And I have to be kind of careful with this. Might need a little bit more room here. I took my cutting mat off because I was doing I did a video with slow stitching. So I'm getting more of the time available to slow stitch. And I just kind of overlap where I'm going to make sure I get it all. And I'm probably on these doing a little bit wider than I need to. But I'd rather be wider and let it dry. The main thing when you back two papers together is you want to allow drying time before you fold it. So make sure that's straight. There we go. Because if you fold it before it is dry, then it will bubble up. But once it's dry, then it is fine. So then that's going to have that. And if there's wrinkles, you just go in and iron them out with your finger. Okay. And don't stick it to your desk like I just did. Okay, so I'll set that one off to dry. Then what I thought, so for a couple of these, I'm going to put back in my printer and do this side to it. So I'm going to do that right now, and I'm going to be right back. Okay, got that printing. So then I thought, I cut out some stuff last night. Where did it go? So I just did a little bit of fussy cutting last night. Ah, there it is. So the sheet that had the little envelope on it, I cut these out, and I just want to glue this on the three sides to make it look like a envelope that's been opened. dry wipe. Okay, so now that's the back of the envelope, and then it'll be a little pocket. And then we can take, where did it go now? This, let's see. I'm gonna cut this in half. Kind of all over the board with this right now, because I'm printing out more stuff for the signatures. So I want to cut that in half, and then I'm going to kind of follow the line, the natural fold lines that were there. And then I'm going to ink up the edges a little bit, not putting much ink on here, just kind of what's left over. And then do it this way also. So then when it opens up, that's what it looks like. But then, because the paper on the inside wouldn't be as dark as the paper on the outside. Something I've realized. It would be inside the envelope, so it would be more protected. So it's just going to be more about wear marks from being folded. This edge. And then I'm just going to kind of lightly go around the edge. So it doesn't look, just a little bit here. There's not much ink on this at all. So it's just taking away some of the bright white. And then to make it feel like a really worn out piece of paper, just go back over, turn it, the paper different directions, fold it, just all kinds of different ways, back and forth. Oh, and that might be a little bit too tall, which is fine. I'll just cut that down. And then just might put a little bit more on. I used to really like the super grungy, and it's just not my style anymore. Which is fine, it's still beautiful. That's why we all have, there's so many different channels out there, different styles. Because we all have, did I cut it down enough? I should have measured it before I put it in there. Oh, and then I glued it so it needs to be even smaller. Is that gonna fit? Oh, please fit. Oh, it fits. And it sticks out just a little bit. I don't mind that. Makes it easier to get in and out. And then I'm just gonna ink these edges just a little bit also. And then I I cut out one of the faux stamps. And I used my thinning scissors. I'm going to make it a little bit smaller to give it the edge. And then sometimes it leaves little tall bits, so I just go back through and then trim that down. So we'll put a little stamp there. So my favorite part of the journals is making the ephemera. Oops. And the cover, I guess, too. But yeah, the embellishing, that's the part that I really like. And then let's see here. My fabric. Where's my swatches? Oh, here we go. Let's see, let's go this here. I've never tried to cut through fabric with pinking the thinning. Oh, kind of interesting. I guess it didn't really work. Cut this down a little smaller. Oops. Did I put start? Oh, I am recording. Okay. Then I thought that I would kind of bunch the fabric up there. And then put this on there. Do I want that on this side? I'm going to put it here. Just to give that a little bit of texture. Make sure I don't glue the paper. Almost glued the paper. And then put that there. Oh, no, 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 don't do that. I don't think I've ever dropped something like that before. That's funny. So it's kind of explaining the fabric color there because it says French pink. Okay. I feel like it needs one other element maybe. Glue off there. Okay, maybe not. We can always come back to it. So then the other thing I cut out, well, what I did was I took, I think it's still on the printer. No, it is not. And don't do what I just did. Luckily, the colors are light enough, but I put my paper in the wrong direction when I was trying to print these on the back, but it actually doesn't look bad. Yeah, so don't do that. Make sure you have it going the right direction. Sorry about that. I just had to put that back in the printer. So what I did was, oh, I don't know where that one is, but this little label, because there's two of them, and I cut it out and I put it on my printer and I enlarged it. And I enlarged it to this size. So then what I did was I inked around it just a little bit, and I want to come in, oops. Actually, I need to back this with something. So let me back it with this, because that will be pretty. And then I'll show you. Okay, just wanted to get the printer going again. So I took the strips, the long strips, and I ripped it out and cut it down. I just want to straighten this edge a little bit, and then it'll shred up. So I'm going to back the oh, I enlarged this on the printer so that it's bigger. I'm gonna like basically almost fold that in half and then over to provide more thickness to it. And since this is like received from, it's like a little receipt, I thought that like, oh, the person, this is my story. This is the fabric the person wanted that they paid for, and it's a little swatch. And so the person who has the fabric store glues it or staples it to the receipt so they know what fabric the person is getting. And so it's a little fabric sampler, but that's why it's on, and it's got the customer's name and the date and the amount. So I thought that was a fun little story to tell. Okay, so I'm gonna glue this, oops, here with this. I'll just get it close and then I can cut around it. Okay, I'm getting warm. I need to turn my heater off. And it actually did go off. Yesterday it didn't turn off when I was trying to turn it off. And I kept going, man, it's just getting hotter and hotter in here. What's going on? So like I said, I really prefer, I've gotten to a place where I don't like using the cardstock as much. There's certain things I'll still use cardstock for, but I really like layering the papers to create the thickness, and I love the feel of it when it's layered. And then I'll just, where maybe it didn't go or where it was torn, it's a little bit white, I just blend that in a little bit, not a lot. And then I did here at the top, I reinforced the fold marks. Okay, I want to fold that, but I'm going to wait. I'm going to let it dry a little bit. Let's see how these are doing. It is a little bit more work to glue down and then have to go around and cut. Actually, I'm going to use my cutter because this is a straight edge. Or I could tear it too. It is a little bit more work, but I like how the paper feels. I feel like it has a more authentic vintage feel to it rather than cardstock, if that makes sense. I like the pliability of it. Now this one is super thick because that music paper was a really thick music page. Okay. But yeah, see how it just, I mean, that is nice and thick, but it doesn't feel like the cardstock. So, and it's whatever you like, whatever you want to use. So then I'm going to go ahead and fold this over. I just really like the way that feels. And then where's one of my signatures? Start adding some color in here. Bring that to the bottom. Yeah, I like that I have that one larger paper because it's really allowing me to have a base to layer these pages up. Super excited that I went with that paper. Okay, so now we have this one. Oh, that is going to look neat. Oops. So right here, I can see I didn't get enough glue. Now, when that happens, I feel like it's easier to go in with a wet glue because you can make sure you get into that edge. And there, it's fixed. Now this one is so fragile that I can just tear it. And I like that. It gives a nice edge to the paper. Just have to be careful. So when you're doing this, you want to tear up because you don't want to tear down because that could pull it away. But take your time. You can even fold it over for like these little edges. Ruler. So how is everyone doing? Get so straight into the crafting. Okay, there, that works because it was a close edge. Oops, and I must not have had that glued down there, which is fine. I don't mind that. I will just come in here and color that in a little bit. And chances are I'm going to be putting some kind of a edging on that anyways. But there we go. Okay, so now there's that piece. So these ones I'm going to fold this way. Oh, I like that. Oh, it's just so nice to have the real vintage piece in there. Okay, so then, oops, let's add this end towards the top, and this one towards the bottom, and then I've got these two that I just went ahead and did double-sided. I put it back through. So on the Epson EcoTank and a lot of the printers, I know I hear a lot of people talk about how they struggle printing double-sided. If you, on the Epson EcoTank 3850, I would assume it's all of them, if you select borderless but double-sided, it is gonna leave an edge. If you select borderless, and sometimes even when you select borderless, it doesn't come up right. You have to go up to the page type, the paper type, and put 8.5 by 11. And when you click on that drop down, there is another drop down that says 8.5 by 11 borderless. So if you do that and you print it single-sided, you will get it all the way to the edge. But then when you do the other, to do the other side, you have to then put the paper in, and this is what I did wrong. On my printer, and this is the Epson EcoTank, you'll have to learn on your printer if you have a different one, but I think it's becoming a very popular printer. You have to put whatever you're going to be printing is on the bottom, because when it comes through the printer, it rolls through like this. So the top is first, and then on the bottom is what's going to print. So when I printed this for the backing, I had to put it with what I had already printed on top. And then it came through and it printed this page. So these, I'm going to fold this way so that we have some floral, in the background, or when we are flipping, so it's different. Let's see. Let's go here. Up and bring that one down. Okay, so how are we looking? Oh, loving it. Loving it. Okay, there's that one. And I'm kind of lining these up very similar. One down, and I might end up putting another one of those tall newsprints in here. Now it's sticking out a little bit, which is fine, so it's getting the different layers. Move this one up a little bit. Yeah, I really like, if you watch Leslie, how she really talks about where things are going to be placed and how they look. Bring this one down some, so you have the different layers showing through. I like it. Okay, so that's a good start. And then I have these that I went ahead and backed with the brown backing page. So let's see, I think I'm gonna do this, bring it down some, and I might make that I think I'm gonna make those the fronts. I think what I'm gonna do is bring this one out, because it's gonna look very similar. Oops. They feel good. So yeah, I think I'm gonna go with the 2 signature on this one. Let me grab my box here. Pull my fabrics out, so I can start putting my scraps in there and all the stuff I'm using. Try to stay somewhat organized. Okay, so how many pages do we have so far? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I think if we do let's do some more. There's this one. So I have this that I need to back on one. And then I have have this one, which was done in cardstock, so I might find another. That was the one that accidentally printed on cardstock. So I'm gonna glue this one to this one. It was really hard for me to do this too, because this is a blank page, so it would go in a journal so nicely. But I really wanted to use it in here, if that makes sense, if you know what I'm saying. Actually, it will go in really nicely, and it is taller. So let's see, that's got that one. So let's put this in this one. Maybe I'll fold it this way. And then maybe in this one, I'll just do the extra newsprint. But then we have, yeah, because that's the same height as the newsprint. So we have a couple more, another page that's tall. And then I'll just put that in. I do not mind blank paper in my journals at all. I actually like to use a lot of blank papers for journaling spots, but I also love, like this you can definitely journal over easily and write in. But you can add stuff to decorate the blank pages too. So, all right, now we have 8. Let's see. So I have these 2. That'll make it 9. And then I might just do something different with that. So I have to think out loud. So if it's 9 and there's 4 sides, that's 36. 36 times 2 is 72. Okay. I think that's a good sized journal. 72 pages when you count front and back. Plus the inside pages of the cover. So 74 set pages. Yeah, that's definitely a good sized journal. So what do I want to back these with? I think I'm going to get some book page or dictionary page. So let me do that and I'll be right back. Okay, so I grabbed these. This is a newspaper magazine called Antique Monthly, and these are all from 1973, which is the year I was born. Now you know how old I am. And I thought, because this paper is extremely brittle, that I thought it would be nice to use this. Where'd my page go? Kind of like that page. I just have to be really careful because this is very brittle. So I'll pull that out and set it aside. And I have a stack of these. Oh, I think I'll use that. There we go. That didn't take too long. Okay, so here, I think I'll try try to line it up. Oops. Like that. Like I said, I know this takes a little more time, but I think the result that you get in the end is absolutely worth it. These fragile papers, it's just, especially things like this, it's like they're so fragile that you have to back them onto something. And since they're nice large pieces, we're just gonna hope for the best in the placement. And then that's got that crease there. Okay. And of course I have glue on my table now. And I got some, oh, that's glue. That's a chunk of glue that's there. Let me just work that through. Okay, we'll set this aside. Where are my wet wipes? I had them very, very handy. And now, of course, I can't find them. That's okay, we'll just do the dry one. Okay. So we're gonna, this one's gonna end up being sideways. So basically to the top and over there. Okay. I'm gonna go a little more gentle so I don't get chunks of glue. One, because it's a waste of glue. And two, I don't want the chunk in the paper. I just don't want to put a big tear in this. Oh, come on. Almost got it. Okay. And let me pull that where that crease is. Perfect. At least I think it's perfect. Let's flip it over and see how we are. Get more glue on the table. It's okay. All right. Like I said, this one is so fragile. I bet I can easily go ahead and tear this now. Because the sides of it, I'll wait and do that once it dries. But there, so that's the back page. Oh, I like it. So it's going to be, you know, going this direction, but I'm fine with that. Okay. Let's see. Let's just tear that. I just love being able to preserve something. That's where that chunk of glue was. It's taking a while to dry. That's part of the fun I have, oops, with junk journaling. It's just preserving this stuff. We have such a throwaway society. So to be able to do something pretty and useful. Let's see, do I want, let's go with this. Let's go this way. Oh, I love it. Okay, so we've got, so let's stick another color one here. And the journal is looking fairly neutral right now, but it is going to come to life with color. It will come to life. I promise you. And that part's sticking up there. I think I'm going to just leave it. I like it. I'm going to leave it. Put this in. Okay, I think that's going to do it for the signatures. It feels really nice. So we'll just do a quick flip through. So we just did one piece of ephemera, got the signatures ready. Now we can start loading them up and doing things with them. I'm not going to bind them or do the cover yet. I find it's easier if you leave it loose when you're putting it together, because you just have more flexibility of pulling things in and out and working on them. So I think this is going to be, oh no, I think I wanted this as the cover. I just love that, or the front signature. And like I said, it might not look like there's a lot of color or stuff going on in here, but why does that look crooked? But when we're done, I will tell you. Did I fold that? I folded that crooked, that's why. Which is not the end of the world. Okay, sorry. Let's try this again. So pretty. But by mixing the different textures, different papers, and layering them, like, this just, it's so pretty. Those digitals are so pretty, and it just feels, everything feels vintage. Oops. There's that one. And we'll line them up again when it's time to do the signatures. Oh, look at that. That's beautiful. Oops. I love it. Love it. I'm so happy with those signatures. And by the time this is done, it's like when it's closed up now, it's like this. By the time I get done making everything, it'll be chunky. It'll be substantial. Okay, that is going to do it for this project. Don't forget, the discount code and link is in the description box for Life's Ever After. Please go check out Misty's shop. You'll be so happy you did. They're such beautiful, beautiful kits. But yeah, and then this one is the vintage fabric swatches, Life's Ever After on Etsy, and we got the signatures done, and so we'll start working on filling them and creating the ephemera in the next video. That is going to do it for now. Okay. My prayer for everyone watching this is that you are blessed. Lord, I just ask that you bless all the people watching these videos, that you lift them up, that you inspire their creativity, that you spark their imagination, and that you clear a path for them to have time to create and co-create with you, that you bless them abundantly and hold them in comfort. Amen. Until next time, love always, Savannah.